Greetings from Cork in Ireland. Today I'm here to speak at the University College Cork on the Awakened Life, and Ireland brings many happy memories of my childhood. I grew up reading W.B. Yeats, James Joyce, Oscar Wilde, and many, many other literary giants from Ireland, so I'm deeply grateful to be here. I've been recently on an email chain with experts, which include Nobel laureates, at least one or two, in physics, and other scientists, mathematicians, and neuroscientists. The email chain also has lots of very insightful thinkers, luminaries, and I think one or two philosophers as well. And in this email chain, there is a constant, ceaseless argument about the nature of reality. And of course, the scientists hold sway and are able to give the best arguments because science works in creating technology, and we take it for granted that it must be closer to truth. After all, I'm using technology right now to speak to you. So scientists have this amazing confidence that they are closer to truth. I remember once a debate that I participated in Sweden, at the same place where they give the Nobel Prizes. And I was talking about fundamental reality as opposed to perceptual reality. And there was a scientist in the front row who asked me, "How did you get here?" I said, "On a plane." He said, "You criticize science, but you trust your life with it." Of course, the answer to that is I trust the fictional character, Deepak Chopra, to be safe on the reality, perceived reality that is called the airplane. But we are both modified forms of consciousness. I didn't get an enthusiastic response. The scientist, after he made a statement, everybody cheered. So here is the reason, my friends, you will never be able to change somebody's mind or win an argument or come closer to truth in a debate. Every human being that you look at is actually the history of the total universe, if you believe the scientific model. So according to the scientific model, 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution. Planet Earth, 4.5 billion years in the making. Life as we understand it, 2.5 billion years, starting with microorganisms called chemolitho-autotrophic hypothermophiles. So life history of about 2.5 billion years. But human beings, only 200,000 years. And Homo sapiens, 40,000 years, started creating models of reality. God created the universe, Newtonian physics, quantum mechanics, relativity, and now we have that model. But as human beings, we've been on this planet only for 200,000 years, and our modeling began 40,000 years ago with what is called the cognitive revolution. And now we use our models to explore reality, and we've come a long way. Science has come a long way. Intergalactic probes, navigation to the moon, all this technology. So obviously, we believe it's truth. Here is why I believe it's not truth with a capital T. No system of thought, science, philosophy, theology, or religion can give us access to truth, because these are systems of thought. And unless we know the source of thought, we cannot go to the source of experience. And the source of knowing and experience is the same as the source of thought, which is in consciousness. And yet we are trying to create models of consciousness from experiences in consciousness, particularly human experiences in consciousness. So while empirical facts are useful in helping us create science and technology, because science is based on empirical facts, do recognize that empirical facts are a species-specific perceptual snapshot. And the combination of those is what we call data, which gives us information and knowledge, but not necessarily wisdom. So empirical facts have no connection to fundamental truth or fundamental reality. Similarly, philosophy, theology, religion are similarly systems of human thought. And we cannot take for granted that human thought is access to reality. After all, there are 2 trillion galaxies according to human thought and scientific models, and 706 trillion stars, and uncountable, possibly habitable planets. So here we are in a speck of dust in the junkyard of infinity, saying, our models are truth. I think that's misguided. So therefore, no system of thought can give us access to fundamental truth or reality, or what I call truth with a capital T. And all my friends on this email chain are conditioned brains and conditioned minds, and the conditioning goes deep: cultural, education, economic, religious, atheistic, maybe scientific, philosophical. And no 2 conditioned brain minds will ever agree on everything. And none of them have access to truth. If you say, what is truth? There are infinite truths. And what is false? There are infinite falsities. So every experience we have is a result of the conditioned mind. It filters through the conditioned mind. It doesn't matter if the conditioning is scientific, philosophical, religious, or theological. Therefore, while it's interesting to participate in these conversations in my email group called Scientific Basis of Everything, Biology, Consciousness, etc., I think the arguments are very interesting and fun to be with, but they are futile, because what we're getting at is truth, which is fundamental, and all these models are partial modifications as the human body, mind, and brain, which correlates and is entangled with the experience that we call the universe. But even the universe is the reinterpretation of recycling of sensations, sense perceptions, images, feelings, and thoughts. The alchemy of that, we call it body, tree, rocks, stars, Milky Way galaxy, on and on. So reality is much more interesting than we think it is. It was somebody famous who said, reality is not only stranger than we think it is, it's stranger than we can think. And there is no system of thought that will give us access to that reality. Reality will be exposed to us when we go back to the source of all experience, the source of all thought, through which we create these models of reality, systems of thought. That can only come when we bypass the intellect and the mind, or cut through it to the source of all experience, pure consciousness, infinite possibilities, infinite correlation, acausal, non-local, quantum mechanical interrelatedness, I'm using a scientific term, have to go back to that, which is irreducible, fundamental, borderless, infinite, incomprehensible, unimaginable, irreducible, without cause, shapeless, colorless, and formless. The only way to access fundamental truth. So let me know your thoughts.